How do I start my spiritual path? I asked this question about 17 years ago because I didn't have a clue about how to get started. Spirituality and all that it is, it can be very overwhelming, but the good news is you do not have to know everything to get started. I've been on my spiritual path for about 17 years, and I still learn something new daily. When I started digging into spirituality, I knew nothing except two things. I knew that organized religion was not for me, and I knew that my way wasn't working. So I was open to the idea of spirituality. I mean, we got to believe in something, and when I started studying spiritual practices, they made sense to me where nothing else had before. I am one of thousands of spiritualists who are out there these days, and each one of us has a different perspective on spirituality and how we should adopt the practices. There are an overwhelming amount of spiritual tools and practices, and learning and practicing all of them is impossible. So in my opinion, there are a few core principles of spirituality, and if you stick with those, you'll be doing plenty. And I'm going to go over those core principles in this video. I have learned that the spiritual path leads you to your life purpose and true essence. We forget who we are because of stress. Stress has been called the health epidemic of the 21st century by the World Health Organization. I couldn't agree with that more. Society does a real number on us. We've got people telling us who we are and what we should be doing, and we listen and do things that we don't want to do until we've totally lost our true selves. A spiritual evolution gets us back to where we're supposed to be, and the whole purpose of a spiritual evolution is to become better human beings. I believe the first core principle is self-reflection. You must go within to find answers versus asking the opinions of others. When you start self-reflecting, you enhance your intuitive abilities by asking yourself questions you haven't before. You can only figure out what you want by deeply contemplating what you don't want. And when you figure out what you don't want, you must be willing to get rid of it. Unless you're willing to eliminate what makes you unhappy, you won't be able to evolve spiritually. To start self-reflection, ask yourself the 4 soul questions each day. Who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? What am I grateful for? The answers won't come right away, but they will come and they will guide you. And make sure you let the universe know that you are ready to receive any divine wisdom and guidance that your higher organizing power has for you. To receive it, you need to distance yourself from noise. This leads to the second core principle. Silence. Us spiritual folks, we don't like noise. Silence is where all of the answers are. And the best way to connect with the silence is through meditation. I do not believe anyone can be truly spiritual unless they meditate. Find a meditation practice and experiment with it daily. And eventually, you'll find one that's right for you. I have information about meditation on my website at paulaswoke.com. The link is in my bio. I'm a Chopra certified meditation instructor, so I am more than qualified to help you with this if you need it. The next core principle is mindful awareness. Developing an awareness of your most dominant thoughts, words, actions, and emotions is absolutely essential to your spiritual evolution. Bad habits, like immediately jumping to worst case scenario thoughts for no reason, are so ingrained in our subconscious that they control our behaviors and we don't even realize it. Maybe you were raised by a worrier, so worrying is your norm. This is only one example of many bad habits that ruin our lives. If you're worrying all the time, all you're doing is attracting what you don't want. So become keenly aware of what you're doing and thinking and saying at all times. This will cause you to catch yourself when your mind wants to go down some depressing rabbit hole, so you can interrupt those crazy thoughts that do nothing but cause your energetic vibe to bottom out. Start thinking honestly about things you might be engaging in daily that attract more of what you don't want. Are you talking on the phone for hours about your problems? Do you watch the news and become worried? Are you a jealous person? What kinds of people do you associate with closely? These are only a few things to think through, but great topics to get your wheels turning. Another core principle is envisioning. You must develop the skill to see your way out of situations that make you miserable. Visualization raises your vibration, attracting people, places, and things that you want. Visualization is a little different from meditation. It's more of an active exercise, whereas meditation is designed to take you to the stillness and the silence. When you figure out what you want, get specific about the details, and then take those details right up here. Each day, spend some time envisioning what you want. Your goal for envisioning sessions is to conjure up high vibe emotions like excitement, gratitude, and happiness. Those are the emotions that attract what you want, and feeling those emotions daily can counteract the power of those low vibe emotions caused by daily stressors. So the core principles that I feel are most important are self-reflection, meditation, mindful awareness, and envisioning, because adopting these practices leads to the number one holy grail, the golden rule of spirituality: feeling good. We attract what we are. If we don't feel good and aren't in perfect health, we will have a hard time attracting what we want. These core principles I've mentioned will get you in tip-top shape for your spiritual journey. The principles work simultaneously to make your bad habits magically disappear. And this happens because you become less likely to want to hold on to things that make you feel bad. Now, I have given you like 1 year's worth of spiritual work here. And you can start using these principles right now without any investment. No equipment is needed. All you need is faith in yourself and faith in the practices. When you start using these principles, you can expect 3 things to happen. Your perception of yourself and the world you live in will change. You will lose the desire to react to challenging situations like you have in the past. Things that have bothered you before won't bother you anymore. And you will feel better, and people respond to that high vibrational frequency. You'll notice people treating you with more love, compassion, and respect. Now, as you become more spiritually enlightened, there are tons of other things you can expect to happen, but I'll save those for another day in another video. I think this is enough for now. I have tons of resources on my website that I designed to help anyone who wants to adopt a spiritual lifestyle. So visit paulaswope.com sometime, and I'm always here to answer questions. So feel free to ask away. Drop your questions and comments below.